My husband had contracted Alzheimer's in his early 50s, and to see that the nightmare was going to commence all over again, it just dismayed me, it completely saddened me, and I became very emotional and found it very difficult to accept. There were so many implications involved in it, and I just couldn't cope for a long while. So I had to bring her home to live with me. I had moved a couple of years earlier into I bought a smaller home unit, and it's only 2 bedrooms, and because I have other involvements and commitments, I've turned it into a study. I didn't have a bedroom for her, so I had to borrow a fold-up bed, and she lived in the bed. She seemed quite happy to come home with me. She seemed to be content, I think because she knew someone was looking after her. But it became a nightmare because she was constantly on the move, and she would take off looking for her children. And I'd have to ring the police, and she'd be fined kilometres away. We can only presume she was picked up, and when people realised she wasn't right, she was dumped. So I constantly was following her all the time, following in her footsteps, because I just didn't know what she'd do. There's no place for younger people to go. There are so many issues involved. I find it so distressing to go down there and see her just sitting in that chair. She can just walk up and down a bare passageway. Can you understand why I get so upset? They weren't used to me, a mother, coming in. They were used to old people who might have a visitor once a week, fortnight, a month. So they were not used to a person like me coming in to care for a younger person. And as far as I know, I'm the only person that does it. And at first they didn't like it, and I was barely tolerated, but it's much better now. So I find it very stressful, and I still get very emotional over it. All of a sudden, I had to take over that mothering role, cook for her, bathe her, arrange to get a haircut, put her makeup on. So I became, besides being a mother, I became a carer. And as I said, my mothering instincts arose, and people were saying to me, "Oh, I think it's wonderful what you're doing for Lisa." And I couldn't understand what they were talking about. To me, I was a mother. And it doesn't matter how old your children are, you're still a mother.